If I had $1 for every time someone asked, "What are you planning on doing with your major?" I'd have enough money to not have to work after college. Alright, that's an exaggeration, but truthfully the question haunts me on pretty much a daily basis. Being a business administration major is great, but can feel overwhelming in terms of career possibilities. There are endless career opportunities within business depending on a multitude of factors such as experience and related fieldwork, education level and degree, and desired lifestyle. In the United States alone, there are more than 32.5 million businesses ranging from small brick-and-mortar stores to huge e-commerce empires. With this many businesses, it can be extremely hard, particularly for young adults entering the workforce for the first time, to find the right career fit. Fortune 500 is a list compiled annually that ranks the top 500 largest United States corporations by total revenue for their respective fiscal years. This includes publicly held companies along with privately held companies, so long as their revenues are publicly available. In total, Fortune 500 companies represent 2/3 of the United States GDP, with $13.7 trillion in revenues, $1.1 trillion in profits, and $22.6 trillion in market value. They furthermore employ 28.7 million people worldwide. Utilizing the information that Fortune 500 provides to the public has many benefits and allows for individuals to consider the potential advantages and disadvantages of being employed by a Fortune 500 company. First of all, they benefit current job seekers. There are millions of job positions that necessitate different backgrounds in order to keep a Fortune 500 company strong. Walmart, at number 1 on the list, operates in 11,000 different retail units across 28 countries and is the largest employer in the United States with 2.3 million employees. There are also national locations. Many of the companies on the list have locations all across the United States, and it's not out of the ordinary to find one around every corner. These locations can be contributors to jobs in small areas and provide an accessible source of employment. They are also recognized nationally as best companies. Some, but not all, of the companies are consistent with their annual revenues, that they understand that their workforce is a key to their success. Many of the Fortune 500 companies are also on CNN's money list of 100 best companies to work for, which is just what it sounds like. It's 100 of the best companies ranked by size, number of employees, and company growth. Each company has its own culture and mission, and being part of something like these workforces can be rewarding both mentally and physically. There's also information readily available about these companies. Since they're in the spotlight so much, Fortune 500 companies are covered by news media, business media, social media, and employees sharing information on their own. Many resources for researching these companies are available before you spend your time applying for jobs with them. Indeed and Glassdoor are good starting points, although it is important to consider perception and bias as each individual likely has had a different experience with any given company. There is also advanced knowledge of potential roadblocks. With the fact that there is information readily available, you can sometimes be warned in advance of bad news like a drop in revenue or shutting down certain parts of a business. For publicly traded companies, their annual reports can help see if trends are bad, developing, and if there's sales are declining. This news can help you prepare to leave before things get worse. The advantages of being employed are personal, competitive, flexible in the expansion of your network. Having one of the 500 names on your resume is often perceived as an advantage, an indication that you've successfully played in the big leagues. In addition, the names of these large companies are often important keywords for your resume, application, and LinkedIn profile. In your visibility search results, many recruiters search for people who have worked for a large successful competitor or a company known for having smart or well-trained employees. Whether or not you worked at the corporate headquarters, you're often involved in leading edge things, and your employer can afford to provide you with the latest and greatest technology. Generally, you can move relatively easily within the organization. Your career path generally includes different levels, starting with entry levels to senior and manager jobs. When jobs are filled, you are usually preferred over any external job candidates and may be able to change careers relatively easy within the organization. Again, that totally depends on each organization, but in general, it's a good rule of thumb. You also usually end up with a very large network of coworkers and former coworkers, so that you get to know a lot of people. Even if it's not in your specialization, they can help you down the road. Some of the disadvantages of being employed by a Fortune 500 company are merely obsolescence and corporate reputations. Unfortunately, over the years, several of the companies have become famous or infamous for offshoring, sending large companies of jobs to locations where labor is cheaper. And also reputations that are associated with big companies are just simply inevitable. Just take Walmart, for example. It's easy. Everybody kind of has their own opinion about Walmart. But in recent years, scandals have made job hunting challenging for employees that may be trying to leave these big companies. As an employee and even a former employee, you may be impacted by these attitudes. As exhausting as it may be at any stage of life to be hounded with the question of what's next, it's a good question to keep the ball rolling and ultimately set career goals. Although living in a societal time period in which there are so many opportunities and possibilities can be very overwhelming, it's a fortunate problem to have. Utilizing Fortune 500 lists is a great start to consider various career paths. There are many advantages to working at a Fortune 500 company. Even if you do not choose to work for a Fortune 500 company, networking with those who do can provide positive outcomes for you on an individual level and contribute to the growth of the organization you are part of. Thank you so much for listening.